Hello and welcome to my first episode of Film Geek Corner. I've delved into this in the past. I've done a couple of videos here and there, but now I want to delve into it headlong. My passion for film, my passion for directors, my passion for going to the movies, for watching a movie. And for those of you who have subscribed to my channel because of my Beatles videos, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, stick around, please. Thank you so much. So I want to do a Blu-ray review today, actually a total of 3 Blu-ray reviews. So let's get started here with the Criterion edition of Francis Ford Coppola's 1983 film, Rumblefish, starring Matt Dillon and Mickey Rourke and Diane Lane. This was during an interesting time for Coppola. One from the Heart, his musical, which I think is a masterpiece, it flopped. That's the film that he did directly after Apocalypse Now. But he did 2 S.E. Hinton novels back to back. The Outsiders, which was on the suggestion of a bunch of high school students who wrote him a letter saying that he direct the film, and Rumblefish. He struck up a great relationship with the author S.E. Hinton, and during the weekends, every Sunday when they were off on The Outsiders, they wrote the screenplay to Rumblefish. The Outsiders was envisioned as sort of as an epic for children. Rumblefish was considered an art film for teens. That's what he wanted to do. And he did them right back to back in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, Coppola has always tried to move past The Godfather. You know, the Godfather films are iconic, and they've kind of hovered over him when he's wanted to do other interesting types of work. And the same way with George Lucas. He can never escape Star Wars, no matter how much he tries. Rumblefish is a rather bizarre film. I think it's Matt Dillon's best performance as he's trying to live up to the reputation of his brother, Mickey Rourke, who's the mythical motorcycle boy in this town. And it's his best performance. The emotions, how he's trying to he's trying to appear tough, but he's not. But this is definitely a bizarre film. It's an art film, and he really breaks all the rules as far as composition, as far as sound design. It's done in black and white with one color sequence, and it's interesting how they did that color sequence. Sometimes some of the most difficult effects, what appears to be difficult, are very easy and very natural without CGI. Criterion, again, pulls out all the stops here. It's a great transfer. It's a new 4K transfer supervised by the cinematographer Stephen Burham with Coppola's approval. There's the original stereo track and a 5.1 track, which was done for the 1995 Universal Home Video DVD. Audio commentary with Coppola, a lot of bonus stuff featuring a recent interview with Coppola, a recent interview with cinematographer Stephen Burham and the production designer Dean Tavares, recent interviews with Matt Dillon and Diane Lane. So yeah, if you're a fan of Coppola, you're a fan of offbeat films, if you're just a fan of this film, which I am, I'm a fan of pretty much anything Coppola's done, definitely get this. And of course it's Criterion. Transfer's good, grain is natural, a nice image of this, probably the best this has ever it has ever looked, in my opinion. So definitely Rumblefish is a keeper. Which film won for Best Picture again? Was it La La Land or was it Moonlight? Well, I'm going to talk about Moonlight. La La Land. When I saw this in the theater, I was hooked the moment I saw the screen mast at 1:33 and it opens up to the full classic CinemaScope aspect ratio of 2:55 with the words "a CinemaScope presentation," and I was hooked from the opening musical number on. This is a great film. Some people they love it or hate it, or that they feel that something's wrong with it. Some people have complained about the songs. I think it's a perfect production, doing a musical in realistic settings. If you're not hooked by that opening number on the LA freeway, I don't know what's going to hook you then. What I like about it is that it's a musical and it doesn't pretend to be anything else. It doesn't pretend to be like a lot of other modern musicals. This is happening inside somebody's head, the fantasy world and the reality world. No. It's these characters sing and dance the way they eat, drink, breathe, and sleep. Just like a musical from MGM did. Although I compare this to a lot of the Warner Brothers musicals, and there's a lot of references to Warner Brothers in the film that surprised me. It's on the Warner Brothers lot. That's where the Emma Stone character, she works. They go to see a screening of Rebel Without a Cause, a Warner Brothers film. And in fact, it's more in common with the Warner Brothers musicals, which were much more serious in tone than the MGM musicals were. They were much more fantasy films, whereas the Warner's musicals were a bit more on the darker side. I mean, for the best one out of all of them was George Cukor's version of A Star Is Born with Judy Garland and James Mason. Aspect ratios at 2:5:5, the classic CinemaScope aspect ratio. The colors are striking in this transfer. A lot of people have been talking about the UHD 4K version of it. I don't have a UHD 4K player yet. The jury's out on that one for me, so I'm gonna wait. But this on Blu-ray, it's great. Host of bonus features, great audio commentary by the director. The Dolby Atmos sound, that's one thing. And if you don't have a Dolby Atmos system, you have nothing to worry about, because if your system, your player or sound system has Dolby True HD, Dolby Atmos is compatible for Dolby True HD. So the Dolby Atmos sound, especially in the opening number where the car horns come in, yeah, your sound system will be on fire. And again, such a great transfer. It was shot on film and then taken through a digital intermediate. So beautiful transfer. Again, the colors are striking. I love this movie. When I saw it in the theater, I was expecting to be like, I saw Chicago. I saw what they did with Chicago. I wasn't impressed. No, this is pure magic all the way. This was a surprise. Saturday Night Fever, the director's cut. This is, I think, an anniversary year for Saturday Night Fever. I don't know what anniversary we're on with Saturday Night Fever, but it's an anniversary year. But I saw the release date come up on digitalbits.com. And I said, director's cut? Why would there be a director's cut? I mean, it's taken how many years for John Badham to do a director's cut? He has stood by the theatrical cut all these years. The theatrical cut is on here. The director's cut, what it does is it adds 4 minutes to the movie. So not that much of a big difference between the running time. The original length of the film was 118 minutes. The director's cut is 122 minutes. But he adds little small details, like there's a shot of John Travolta as Tony Manero doing an outline of the Verrazano Bridge with his fingers, going around it like that from afar. That's beautiful. And smaller details adding a bit more of the grit to the film. Saturday Night Fever is, I mean, a lot of people think of the film as a disco film, and it's not a disco film. Disco is a part of what Tony Manero does. He gets his release going to the club every Saturday night. But the story of Saturday Night Fever, it's straight out of The Graduate and later on Risky Business. I think why this film is so easily identifiable for a lot of people, especially young males, is the fact that the Tony Manero character, we've all identified with the fact that we're stuck in the same area, we're stuck with the same friends, doing the same crap day in and day out, and we don't know what we want to do. We're confused. Yet we have a gift, and in Tony's case, it's his dancing, but he doesn't know what to do with it. Transfer again is great. Now this is 1978, so expect film grain, and I'm one of those proponents that if the natural film grain that is visible, don't do anything with it. And I think we've come farther along in Blu-ray since it's come out in 2007, where studios are aware of that now. To me, removing film grain is almost the extent of removing tape hiss. You're going to lose detail. 1978, film grain. Again, the colors, especially in the dance club, it's like out in the world, the colors are they're realistic. It's Brooklyn. It's gritty, but in the club, a lot of red lights and that dance floor. So again, a great transfer. Soundtrack is done in 5.1. Did take a few liberties on the soundtrack with directional dialogue. Audio commentary by director John Badham, but only on the theatrical cut. I would have liked there to have been an audio commentary on the director's cut, so I kind of know what the differences are between the theatrical and the new director's cut that's on here. This is a blind purchase no matter what. If you do not own Saturday Night Fever in any version that's been out there, you need to get it. What are you waiting for? This is a blind purchase right here. So that's my 3 today. Francis Ford Coppola's Rumblefish on the Criterion Collection, La La Land, and Saturday Night Fever, the director's cut. And I will be up again with some Blu-ray reviews when I get some new ones. I have the new Heat director's cut by Michael Mann, which I'll be taking a look at. And I also have the Criterion edition of Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill that I'll be doing a review of. And I'm also going to be talking about my experiences going to movies and theaters and doing a lot of things like that. Doing some profiles of favorite directors of mine. So stick around for that. And I'm excited to be sharing my love and passion for film with you guys, just like I do my love of music and the Beatles. So thank you so much. See you in the next one.